Howdy folks, Adam here again. I'm getting ready to do the valve adjustment on my 2007 Suzuki Boulevard C50. I'm gonna try and do a little bits and pieces of video because I forgot my primary video camera, so I'm doing this with my iPhone. So I'll record little bits, as I go, so that way you can get to see the deal with doing that. Alright, I'll be back to you in a little bit. Bye. You can see I've taken the back seat off, the primary seat, and next I'll be taking off the fuel tank. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the seats off, I got the tank off, unplugged the speedometer, the fuel tank sensor, for fuel gauge sensor, and as you can see, the fuel line that connects to the bottom of the tank. It's got two little tabs on it. You squeeze them, it pops right off. It plugs itself right up, no leakage whatsoever. It's pretty nice. You can see I took off the cover that goes over on the left side of the bike, and then I took off the pair valve line. So that way I can get access to the rocker cover gaskets, the rocker covers, and I will be pulling the rocker covers off to get to this to the rear cylinder, and then I'll show you getting to the front cylinder. All right. Okay. So interestingly enough, what I found is opposite of what I was expecting. I was expecting to have excess gap in between the adjustment and the valve. Well, I ended up finding I had just the opposite. I had no play in it, and I had to actually increase the amount of opening. I actually happen to have a very long 7/1000 shim that works perfectly for the exhaust, so that's what I'm using. And actually, if you look at the end of it, I took and bent it. That way I can slide it right in, and it fits right in there. Okay, so I got the back cylinder all adjusted, and what I did find was, I want to mention a trick to you guys because it happened to me, is the feeler gauge. If you buy like the ones from Craftsman and such, they're not real long. And I'll show you here in a second, but I would recommend putting something on it to keep it from falling in the engine. I did accidentally drop mine, and I had to get a magnet out in order to get it out, and everything there is magnetic, so it does take a little bit of trying to get it out once you drop it in there. I'll show you here in a second. You can see it's not very long. It's about 2.5 inches long, and it will fit completely down inside that cylinder head where the valve train is. So what I took and did is I actually put a tie wrap on it, so that way it keeps it from at least falling down inside. Alright, okay, so the right side of the bike, I decided to go ahead and take the air cleaner off in order to gain more access to the rocker covers, and then I took out the induction air hose. And if you look, you can see right on top of that rocker cover. So that one's right open, and I'm going to take off the neck covers, and hopefully I should be able to get to the other one pretty easy too. Okay, so I got all of them done now. The front was by far much easier to do than the back. I have to say that the intake on the rear cylinder look like it's the hardest to do. You've got the least amount of room to work, and the easiest one, believe it or not, was the intake on the front cylinder. So that's the way I find it to be. The intake on the front cylinder was a snap for me to do. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so I'm all done. It took me I think about 2.5 hours to do this little job. Of course, I'm one of those guys that cleans and polishes everything before it goes back together. So that's maybe why it took me a little longer, but whatever. That's just me. I like things going back together clean, because the next time it gets cleaned will be the next time I actually take it apart again. I did find that all of the valve clearances were undersized. In fact, when I went to do the front cylinder, the clearance was actually not, I had no clearance at all. And so that way, and that's how all of them were. They were all so tight that they just did not have any clearance. But that being said, when I regapped them, I went ahead and regapped them to the high side, so that way I don't know if, for example, it was a fluke that they were all short, or if they just get tight over time. But this way it'll give me more time to between doing the valve adjustment. Hopefully it won't need it again for quite a while yet. Brian Parks said that, oh yeah, it'll sound like a angry sewing machine, is what he said. And yeah, it definitely sounds a lot different when all the valves are adjusted properly. It definitely sounds like an angry sewing machine. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully maybe next time I'll bring the right camera and I won't be just using my iPhone, and you can see actual video of me doing stuff like that. Alright, thanks for watching.